In this Home Theater Builder Series video, I'm talking about audio processing and amplification. So when it comes to audio processing and amplification, you're really going to have two main paths, a receiver or separate. The main logistics are going to boil down to features, system complexity, budget, and what you really demand in terms of audio quality. In my dedicated space, I did opt for separates, and I'm currently running a Marantz AV7704 preamp in an Emotiva XPA11 Gen 3 amplifier. My speaker setup is a 7.2.4 immersive audio configuration, which demands 11 channels of amplification and 11.2 channels of processing. This gear is actually carryover, as I was using these devices to drive audio in my living room when it was still in a 7.2.4 configuration as well. However, when we built the dedicated room, it became our multi-channel environment, and I now have just a lower spec Denon X series receiver driving the downscale 2.2 audio of the living room. So the debate for separates versus a receiver rages strongly throughout all of home theaterdom. In my opinion, the reality is that you should never feel like you settled if you opt for a very capable receiver. Some receivers nowadays cost as much as modest separates anyway. While separates might also have a leg up in overall performance, the actual amount of power you really need to drive most modest sized rooms I don't think is really as much as most people might claim. That said, I still opted for separates. The Marantz series receiver clocks in around $2,200, and it was a little less than that in addition for the amp. I felt though this was a very balanced purchase to my equipment and my space. To be honest as well, separates for audio processing are kind of an aspirational goal, I think, for a lot of enthusiasts, myself included. There's really just a coolness factor to it. There's a tinker factor to it. And you get the peace of mind that you crossed a boundary into the upper echelon of system quality and performance. If that's not enough to get your wife to buy in, I don't know what is. Honey, I want it just because it's cool. I think there's also practicality to separates as well though. Receiver and processor technology changes with new models every year, but they don't always get it right. For example, take a look at the 2020 HDMI 2.1 receiver preamp issues where they're all broken, they're providing separate boxes that you have to add to provide the right processing capability. Amps though can stay stably in your system for a long time. It's like the screen to projector relationship I mentioned before. So if you choose separates and spend on a quality amp model that you'll be very happy with, you'll be secure in that purchase for a long time to come and maintain flexibility to upgrade as needed on the processing side. Choosing components in this case is really pretty simple. What kind of tech features do you demand? How many channels do you need to drive? And how much money do you really want to spend? It's just a math problem at that point to line everything up. In my audio system, I biased my speaker spending towards the front, left, center, right array versus the surround channels. I'll go into detail on my speaker choices in another video, but in short, all my speakers are focal. However, the front three are from one line, and the 8 surround plus height channels are from another lower series. As such, I felt the Emotiva XPA11 was a gem of a purchase. It delivered the simplicity and packaging of a single amp unit for all 11 channels, but it's built on a blade style architecture with 7 elements. There are individual high power blades for each of the left, center, and right channels, while the surround and height channel blades drive 2 speakers each at less power. So there's 3 sections driving 300 watt at 8 ohms, and then the dual sections deliver 65 watt at 8 ohms per speaker. It's essentially like having mini or an integrated monoblock type performance for those main speakers that really demand the most while maintaining plenty of power delivery for the supporting channels. I mentioned balanced a lot in my home theater builder videos, and this decision to me just screams balance as it focused performance and dollars spent in the most impactful way. Another way to go that I could have considered and I would recommend is to have just bought a receiver, drive the surround and height channels with the receiver amps, but then buy a separate high-end 3-channel amp for your left, center, and right. If you're looking for a focused high-end performance result while still balancing cost and your equipment complexity, consider that an option. As it is, this amp will live with me for a long time. With my room logistics as well, I don't really foresee adding more additional speakers, so I'm not needing to consider any type of trim-off type upgrade on the processing side or needing to add amplification for more speakers. In the last few years too, there really haven't been any real processing side developments that have driven me to upgrade the preamp either. The Marantz AV7704 is actually a 2017 model that's ancient in home theater years, but it still meets the technology capability of the rest of my content sources and my projector. So the next upgrade opportunity I expect for processing will really have more to do with video and HDMI 2.1. As such, though, that's not even really a concern for home theater video, it's really for gaming. The source devices are here and in my home, however, I'm not really worrying about an HDMI 2.1 preamp unless or until I were also to get an HDMI 2.1 projector, which neither Sony nor JVC and such are even shipping yet. It could be soon, maybe this year, maybe next year, but HDMI 2.1 still has such major issues and failures to deliver, I'm not even really that concerned to have it in my theater space. I'll focus my HDMI 2.1 gaming use in my living room instead, where I already have an HDMI 2.1 TV, and let more kinks and such get resolved in the meantime. So in the end, consider what your system needs for audio processing. Definitely indulge a bit into the coolness factor of the audio side as you can. Audio processing and amplification can be a slippery slope where costs drive up quickly while tangible, measurable results can diminish just as fast. So what are you driving your audio system with and why? Let me know in the comments, and smash the likes and subscribes. Every time you do, our signal to noise ratios improve.